So my point on that insurance thing was that if it's all starting about a phone call, and somebody just off the cuff makes a phone call with somebody, and it's a he said, she said, and then all of a sudden you're out at a mud run, and it's a big mud run, and some real bad things happen out there, and a few people get killed because some tower tips over because it wasn't inspected properly, and a bunch of other stuff happens. And then it turns out that there's a big lawsuit, and then something comes back, and then there's a few depositions, and then some big lawyers come in here, and then 60 Minutes comes in here, and then there's $100 million involved, and then they're going to come back, and then they're going to pull all this stuff out, and then you're going to come back, and then what the big word that's going to come out of all this is regret. That's the point. And you can come back and tell me you don't want to talk about it. What I'm going to tell you is you got lucky and you decided to self-insure. And had you done the right thing, and what I think really happened is at the end of the day, you got lucky. And what I think really might have happened is somebody may have actually got on the phone, and if you just went into the Google and you look at a K2 broker who was a specialist that I talked to, and we find out that, in fact, there really is a real deal about this mud run insurance, obstacle course race insurance. It's been around for a long time, and there really is a real deal about it that he knows about. This guy right here, they won't talk about it. The man that can't talk, that doesn't even have the ability to say a word, Mr. Kuhlman, that used to be in the business, that I would hope would have gone out and got some of this insurance. You would have found out that there is such a thing, and it requires, it's hard to get, it's expensive, and it requires claims experience. It requires a track record, and it requires a course that's been certified and engineered and studied. It requires trained staff that knows what they're doing, not just shows up the morning of the course of the race. So we got you guys. Now the second part is, there never should have been a mud run. And if you wanted to have one, it would have been planned over the course of a year, and somebody would have decided, does Hardy County really need a mud run? Who's going to do it? Half this county, I mean, they work outside all week. They're going to come around and crawl around in the mud on a weekend when they crawl around in the mud all week long anyway? Didn't make any sense. Why would you do that? Well, we know why it happened.
Thank you, Mr. Kuhlman. Have a seat.
Thanks so much.
Ms. Kraft. While you're coming up, Lex.
Just comments. That's pretty dramatic. There's a lot of ifs in there. If this, if that. I can if all day long. I make thousands of decisions a year. I make many a week. Maybe I'm wrong on some, maybe I'm right on some, but I'm the one charged with making them. And we don't have meetings every day. I meet with commissioners. This group of commissioners have been the best commissioners I've ever worked with, to meet with me regularly, to keep advised on what's going on. And no, it's not secret meetings. There's nothing illegal about a commissioner meeting in my office. They all meet before we have meetings. We all meet, we go over the agenda. We don't meet together. I do not poll. I do not transfer information. They're well aware this boardroom is not where all information is shared. The majority of information is shared in my office, and that's quite legal. There's nothing secret or covert or shade meeting about it. So all of that is no. So that's an amusing thing. The point is, we had insurance. Now, if you're going to start a mud run today, yes, you're going to have to get special event insurance. You're not an ongoing entity that has continuing current coverage. It's not self-insured, it's liability. Jane knew we didn't need it. I just never asked her. I just made an assumption. I've been wrong for almost 14 years. So what? We had coverage. I just made an assumption that was wrong. You know what they say about assumptions. We've had injuries at Pioneer Park days. We've had broken ankles. We've had dislocated shoulders. We've had stepping off the side of the pavement and injuries. We're covered. One is, we are covered. Yes, if anyone in this room wants to do a mud run, they don't have continuing coverage. They don't have existing liability. You're going to have to get a policy. Now, whether or not they'll come in and inspect them, I don't know. But for the last point, we were covered.
Ms. Kraft.
Okay, guys, I want to see us